race card. But the race card is someone's own personal ignorance to the fact that someone like us or people like us can be racially discriminated against because of the colour of our skin. They don't want to see it, they won't see it, so what do? They try and throw it back on you. Race card. I've learnt this thing that is so therapeutic.
Go on.
Mute. or mute.
Perfect.
Or block. One Friday night, I got my phone and I, bam, bam, bam. Lord, can I have my rice and peas now, please? And it's so therapeutic because, and then some people I go back at. Because ultimately, if you want to come for me, let me give you the educated version and let's see if you're still talking. Even down to last Sunday, a guy, Max Lowe at Derby County, who, I don't know if you know the thing where the commentator Craig Ramage said about all the black.
Yeah.
So I put out Max's Instagram, loads of this is disgraceful, this is disgusting. Man, I don't quite think he's being racist, I said, excuse me? Because he's talking about young players. I said, no. He said black.
Yeah.
That differentiates from just all young people. He said black. Yeah, but it doesn't mean, all right, it might not mean he's racist, but he has an idea in his head on who he's targeting.
Exactly.
So and then to be fair, I got an apology the next day. I was like, cool. Whilst there's some, that race issue again. Here we go. Troy Townsend, blah, blah, blah. Here he goes. And then the card comes out. And I'm like, you know what? If you've never felt anything that I've felt, then maybe it's not your point to discuss it or challenge me on the fact that I know this stuff still exists. And it's in people's faces anyway. So, the job has its ups and downs. But like I said, the anonymous people, the people who don't know me, who stop me, who say keep doing your thing. Is the thing that empowers me more to keep driving this agenda forward.
Wow,
that's a good look.
In terms of, just quickly, I just wanted to ask as well, when you was growing up, or in terms of football, when you was at Millwall, did you experience, what kind of experiences did you have? Was it similar to the experiences that the players have now?
Not at the clubs, but listen, I told you my journey finished really early, and then I'm playing grassroots with my friends, and I'm trying to enjoy the game again. I remember being at Waltham Abbey. I said this recently. We played Waltham Abbey in Essex. We had a game. We were called Trojan, mighty. And we're playing away, and there's little crowd there, couple there. You can hear everything everyone's saying. And we got a couple of ballers, man, that love chop. You know what I mean? So Lloyd chopped the left back. Left back gone into the corner flag, right? Lloyd chopped this, because Lloyd's like, you know what I mean? Centre of gravity. Chopped the centre half, Wow. I'm going goal. Lloyd mashed the thing clean over the bar and everything, right? But a banana flew over. Wow. Bam. Drop. When time stops, it's a banana. The man there, and there's only 20 people. The man there throw a banana. So Lloyd went mad. He done chopped 2 man. I don't know if he's half mad because of the banana or because he licked the ball clean. You know what I mean? But he went mad, and so we went mad with him.
Of course.
And I'm like, what? Come on now. Do you know what I mean? Fiery end. And then we used to be involved in this competition called the Carlsberg Cup, where you could eventually play at Wembley.
Okay, yeah.
And I swear to God, they sent us to every place that they knew we'd get in trouble. One night, man, they were letting fireworks off at us. And I'm not saying that racially motivated, but there was fireworks. Like, we're kicking ball,
Was it November or something?
November ain't reached yet. Fireworks. And I'm like that. And then we're getting baited. You know what I mean? And then we go to a next place and listen, our people know when people are looking at us differently. Our people know when we're being acted upon, and so don't tell me that these things haven't got a motivation behind them. And to get called the N-word, to get the monkey chance, to get, and not that it's worse at any level, but at the level that we were playing at, you hear it more, it spikes you more. You actually got no protection, so you either go in there and while out, or you try and finish the game the best as possible. And it was the kind of experiences where you just thought to yourself, I'm so glad I'm with my boys, man, because you know what, we all packed together and we
Supported each other.
supported each other.
Yeah. As one.
And as one, we were kind of like, you know what, we do this, we're going into this, we go in this together. And you know, there's another one. We were my local area, Walthamstow. There's a sports centre developed called Kelmscott.
Yeah, Kelmscott's cool.
You know
Opposite the
Kelmscott,
petrol station.
Yeah. So I used to run a competition, summer competition, every summer, and it's big competition. So me and my boys, I think we're 17, 18, drummed up a little money to enter this competition, right? Because we're bad, right? And we called ourselves the Young Brazilians, by the way.
Right.
So you know where I'm playing, innit?
No pressure.
No pressure. But listen, everyone's coming down to watch us.
Right.
So Monday night, Kelmscott, Young Brazilians are playing. What time they're playing? 9 o'clock. The place is packed. So it's good, you know what I mean? Playing in front of a crowd, and it's good, and it's most of our people, and we're enjoying it. 3 games into this first competition. Remember that Lloyd I'm telling you?
Yeah.
He's got a brother called Andrew.
Right.
And if you think Lloyd could chop,
He's the chopper.
Andrew's got no respect for anybody. So we're in a 5-a-side, remember? Andrew's gone in on goal, so with a D just in front. We're playing this team, we're really aggressive, like vexed because man is dropping foot and everything, you know what I mean? And Andrew stopped the ball on near the D. The geezer that come to take him out just kept sliding. Right? Andrew turned round, backheeled the ball in the goal. We're going mad. The crowd is going mad. The man, who have obviously been on a few drinks, vexed, turned round, dropped one of the boys, bam, punch him up, and then mayhem. Now I'm saying, you can say, oh, that's not colour, that's just, but man, that's colour. And because we were young, and they felt, this man, they can't defend. They didn't know that we had everybody on the touchline. And we got chucked out. And the injustice of that has always stayed with me, because hold on, I got my boy beaten up, let's say it, beaten up. This is a big man, you know, them man there with their fists.
Them big
like,
fists,
right.
sausage fingers.
But they tump up Andrew, so now we got no fear. We got one madman in our team who will just jump on your back and just throw licks. And then when we come to the centre and said, boy, blood, this, that and the other, they chuck us out. And I'm like, now I know what injustice is like. Do you know what I mean? And now I'm feeling what injustice is like. And we went back, I think we didn't go back the next year, but it just didn't have the same feeling, didn't have the same. And then that started to follow me in my career and proceed to see how, if you're a predominantly black team, and we had some white players, and it was not, you know, we weren't, but how you would be seen and looked upon differently than others. That's kind of followed me with my career. It's such a shame as well, you know?
It is.
Yeah.
I was gonna say as well, leading on, because you know you was talking about, you know, your friends supporting you and that. So when you're going into academies, what is the message that you're passing on to these young players when they're going through not a similar experience, but you know the modern day player now? What is it that you think they should be doing if they experience it? Because it is happening now.
Do you know what? To empower players to call things out for what they are. You know, in our day, we just had to deal with it. Yeah. How do you deal with it? You become angry. You meet it with a little bit of violence as well, don't you? And you kind of don't look for anybody to support you, because you know, as a group, you're going to go and deal with a situation. But for these young players now is to call it out. Don't hide behind it. And you know what? One thing that stuck with me, I put an event on last year, and Carlton Cole, former West Ham striker, come to the
big
event
Carlton Cole,
and said to me, I felt that I was institutionalised by the game. If you want to make it, shut up, and then the world could be your oyster. You talk up, you ain't going to get on in this game. You know what I mean? So I want to empower young players to not have to accept that, but also understand their place and what important element they play. Ryan Brewster at Liverpool is one of the lads who you know, have helped massively, and racially abused 4 times in 18 months. You know. So
you were supporting him.
So supporting Ryan through the process. He's on loan at Swansea now, and I'm so proud of how he's doing. But you know,
big up Ryan.
What he did is there was once where he got angry as a young lad. You know, I mean, wants to knock everybody out. Another one when he started to get a little bit older in the youth Champions League. Boy called him the M-word. They were 3-0 up, and it was 83rd minute or so, and he's like bothered. You know what I mean? But I said to him, Rian, no, it's not bothered. What if you were losing? What would you have done then if you, boy, that's a different story, you know? So I said, look, the anger is there. It's just that because you knew you were winning and you scored, that anger was, you know what I mean?
Yeah, suppressed, yeah.
So, you know, they played in obviously the World Cup final against Spain, the under-17s, and Morgan Gibbs-White was racially abused. And it was Rian that called it out and said while they were celebrating, the boys were being racially abused. And he was the one that identified and said it to the referee. So for me, there we are. There's an example of how we empower young players to not accept. And hold on, this is the World Cup final, by the way. But he's speaking up and he's saying, no, enough, you know what? And then I'll go and celebrate again. So it's to provide the players with that voice that maybe they haven't had in the past, to recognise situations and call them out for what they are, and to challenge the whole aspect of being discriminated against for whatever reason. And I think that message, whilst providing them with the understanding of things that still exist in football, you know, sooner or later we're going to have a whole wave of young players or players coming through the system that just won't accept.
Yeah.
And for me, that's massive.
So do you think they should, for example, walk off? You know how they suggest that you should walk off? And
Who's going to answer that?
the protocol.
It's true, but one thing, you know, one thing you've also got to remember
sorry,
is...
before you touch upon that, sorry to
Go
cut
on.
you, do you feel that the lessons that you're given in these academies, do you feel like you get the full backing of these clubs, or do you feel like
Yeah, to be fair, the clubs are brilliant. Clubs have been really good. You know, a lot of the things we're identifying, the clubs are going, boy, we didn't recognise that. Do you know what I mean? And listen, in the past, we empowered a club, or the players in a club, I won't mention the club, but we empowered them to call what was going out in their club. Simple as that, to challenge what was going on and to say that, no, this is not right. We've had a session on it, you know, I don't know, 3 months ago. The things that's happening here is not right. And that's, you know, and if things are not right, we want them to be able to call it out in their own environment, an environment of learning, an environment of education, an environment of development. And that is all being stopped because people want to judge you, not on your ability, but on your skin colour. And that's black, that's Asian, that's, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't care if you come from Timbuktu. Like, you have a right to be in that environment and to be respected and protected in that environment. Now, if I'm a father, I'm a father. I don't want to put my son into a situation that actually is coming home wondering whether he wants to play football anymore or not. I want him to know that, you know, I want him to come back buzzing. So it's also about parents seeing the signs as well. And I think more and more parents are seeing, some good parents are seeing the signs that actually, my son doesn't look the same. My son doesn't feel the same. My son is not my son.
Yeah.
What's happening? And hopefully if the son, and this is what I say about parental support, this is how massive it is. If you have that contact, if you have that, son, you notice signs, talk to your son, call it out. It's not right in this day and age. It's like sending your son to school, your daughter to school, and realise that they're being victimised or bullied in school. You're going up to school, aren't you?
Yeah.
You're going up to school.
100%,
Do you know what I mean? No two words answered. You're going up to school. I remember
Go on. You got stories, go on.
when I was teaching, you know,
Yeah.
there's this little West Indian shop down the road, right? Boy, the thing was sweet. You know, suck on the bone and everything, you know. But it's lunchtime, innit? So I can't really eat too tough. But
Yeah.
I remember the mum turning up at she was banned from the school, by the way. She's at the school gate. And I see her walking in the school. I'm like, oh Lord, it can only mean one thing.
Yeah.
Because she's going to thump up a teacher. Because her son come home and just said, this teacher. And you know what? Ultimately, I respect that. Because, no.
Defending her son.
Yes. And he's not old enough to defend against.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not saying that you have to thump people up or whatever, but
you have to let them know
You have to
when
let
they're
them know.
in.
Look,
Yeah.
we're famous now. People are taking pictures outside and everything. Listen, do you know what I mean? But, so, you know, if that was happening to your son, you demand a meeting in an academy.
Of course.
I want to know what's going on.
Yeah.
That's a difficult one because you're battling with whether your son gets a contract. You know, so it's a difficult process. Because ultimately, do you do stuff that could deny your son that opportunity?
Yeah.
But the respect in that is more, I'm sorry, is more than any contract. But it's just trying to convince parents that sometimes you're better off challenging than letting things lie.
Right.
So that's, the
your
message,
question.
I think the message is, because there was nothing in place before anyway. Nothing in place.
So, go on, Shakes.
I wanted to ask about, like, at the top level, was there a right way to, like, go about, like, receiving racism or something like that? Because there was, like, an example a couple of days ago about this guy, what's his name?
Moringa.
Porto player. And, yeah, he scored, he walked off.
You know what?
He threw his middle finger up and everything, and...
The situation with Moringa at Porto is one of the most disgraceful things that I've ever seen as I watch football. That is of that professional status. Not only did he get racially abused and he recognised it and he told everyone, his teammates
didn't even. They were trying to
tell him. But not just, yo, what are you doing?
They were literally trying to drag him.
Dragging him. The opposition, which you expect. His manager. So he's getting. Hold on. He's getting abuse from the fans. He's getting no protection from his teammates. He's getting whatever dog's abuse from the opposition. He's getting disrespected by his manager, and the referee books him. Now, I'm wondering about that man's mental state. I'm wondering about whether he can sit in that chair. Afterwards, all the lines come out. Yeah, we stand against racism, we this, we that. No, you didn't. Because the one opportunity you had to support a teammate who's, you know what, I'm not standing on this pitch. You've allowed it. You didn't take it. And there's an image of the goalkeeper going, come on. How can he survive in that environment now? What are they going to do for him that makes him change his mind to actually, you know what, no, we do support you. If that's the way you're going to treat him. They did it with Mario Balotelli earlier this season. Not as so aggressively, but they did it with Balotelli.
Very
similar.
Balotelli walked off, come back on, pop, top corner. But do you know what? I think that diluted the whole situation because people are like, it's okay.
He's all right.
I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm just saying I think for many, it diluted it. But the countless incidents, the main one is England. England should have gone. For me, they should have gone. You know, you're 2-0 up, you're 3-0 up. The result doesn't matter. Or it should have been taken out of England's hands and the official should have taken them off. But not one official is going to want to see a game stopped because of race. Not one. I don't care. They can hang me to dry. Not one official wants to stop that game. And that's the problem is, you know, by the way, they're getting free chance to racially abuse us. It's 3-step protocol. You know what? We'll slap your wrist on the first one. We'll ignore the second one. And we won't administer on the third one. That's what it is. So you get. So if I'm a man, as a black man, if I'm going into a stadium and choosing to, right, I'm going to racially abuse someone. First one I can, I'm all right. Second one, if you do it once more, you're gone. So I get 2 opportunities to continue whatever language that is coming out of my mouth that is disrespectful or discriminatory. I get 2 opportunities to do it. Where are we?
2020.
Right, that's where we are.
And still.
2020, and still.
Go on, Shakes. What?
Listen, no, you can't deny that things in terms of
We've done a little bit.
Like people having voices.
people having a voice, education.
Yeah.
You know, I still believe that in this country no other country cares about education. So we do provide, and I'm not just bigging myself up there, there's other people that deliver stuff. So we do provide much more. But how far has the game come? In 1988, and people are going to get bored of me saying this.
When I was born.
Why you want to crush a man? I'm in my mid-20s, you know. But 1988, you remember that image of John Barnes?
Yeah. He's coming out there.
Yeah. As soon as you said
Red Crown Paints kit, shorts all hitch up in his boxy and everything. Sorry, can I say that? Can I say that?
it's cool.
But that iconic image, I believe, was the reason why Kick It Out was formed. That seeing John Barnes in his own way at Goodison Park, backheel that banana off the pitch, but also at the point the image is taken, it's almost like he's got no voice to challenge. So what do? In my style, I'll back flick it off the pitch. And when I started doing these sessions, I always said, I'm so glad that we're not in that space. That's how far we've come. You know, so when people question it, we don't see bananas anymore. We're better. You know, top level. There'll be people listening probably say, Grant, boy, Troy, there's a banana every week on my pitch. But just the top level.
Yeah, the main stage.
Then in 2018 November, North London
Aubameyang.
derby.
Yep. Arsenal. I was just about to. I was just about to mention that.
30 years later. Now, the image of Aubameyang, as it's called, is of a man with his chest out, looking as if, is that what you got? Do you know what I mean? I've just scored. And actually, hold on, this is me now. I'm confident. Do you know what I mean? I'm prepared to challenge that. So the game actually hasn't moved on. 1988, we all agree it's an act of racism. Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
What was it in 2018?
They call it active discrimination or something.
Same thing to me.
Is it the same thing? It should be.
It should be, but they kind of swept it under the carpet.
Yeah.
They kind of swept it under the carpet.
It was a missile.
A missile.
It was a missile. With no connotations of racism at all. So the guy was seen throwing it. Someone I know.
He's from.
Yeah.
Because I know of him as well.
We're not outing no one on this
Yeah,
podcast.
I went out. No.
No. I used to play football with him.
Next question.
And you know what? They called it a missile for legal reasons. Because everything around racism always has a legal reason. We cannot just call it for what it is. He got a fine, but club banned him, but he got a fine with an extra £100 thrown on around that, just in case it was racism. And he's got a ban in order. Now I'm saying if football and the law is not going to call blatant acts of racism, and by the way, I bet you no black man or black woman was involved in that situation of deciding what that missile was.
Nope.
Of course not.
Then where are we going to go? So yes, we are better in certain areas. We're going backwards in other areas, unfortunately. And until anyone can stand there and say, see that banana, the connotation behind that is as history has so much relevance towards black people. Actually, the point where they've been dehumanized by that banana. Until you can say that, then you might as well just throw 100 on there. And until you allow people to walk off the football pitch because of that act and that the game is not challenging it, where are we? In 2020, as we say.
That's true. I wanted to kind of move it on as well, because I know obviously you get a lot of podcasts and interviews and they kind of just mainly focus about it, but I also wanted to ask about your relationship with your son, the fact that your son is a professional, and as a father, how does that feel? Like, as a father, did you know when he was younger that he would get to that level? Did you live your dream through him?
There's quite a lot of questions in there.
Yeah, sorry. I've been waiting.
So basically, the last 45 minutes has been nothing.
No. Of course not.
You know what?
Of course not.
I beg any parent to tell me that they knew their son was going to be a professional footballer. You can't. You can't. You can see things and you think, yeah, maybe. But I beg, because no one knows how that journey's going to go. No one knows, the highs, the lows, the injuries, the whatever else, where the path. You can think, yeah. And I know that there's been parents who have put bets on their kids playing for England. That's a chance. That's a chancer. That's not a gap. That's a chancer. I think it's Chris Kirtland's dad.
Yeah.
That's a chancer. That's not guaranteed. Bam, here. A very good chancer, by the way. One that earned him money. I wish I did it, but it's a chancer. Yes, while I could watch my son, as a young man, seeing him do what he did, boy, he's got half a chance, Do you know what I mean? Very tricky winger. Left-footed as well. There's always something about left-footed. Do you know what I mean?
Hard to get.
Left-footed. They're very rare.
Love putting the ball in the back of the net. You always think he's got half a chance. But unfortunately, my family has experienced disappointment in this arena before. Not even my own. My eldest son, God rest his soul, being released as well, and coming to me to try and help him boost that confidence and self-esteem again. Then my other son suffering from a knee injury that took him out for a year as a 13, 14-year-old, and never coming back the same again. So do you see what I mean? You can never pin it that it's definitely going to happen. And suffering probably some difficult times midway through his time at Spurs, where I don't think the coaches believed in him. I didn't think he fitted the model that they wanted. But you know what? Through grace, through determination, through the correct attitude, through desire, through all of the above that makes you a professional footballer, he came out the other end, and you know, I call it a successful career. Some people might think differently, but he's playing at the highest level. He's played for his country. He's played for his hometown club, and he's still scoring goals in the Prem. So you know, for me, that you can't put a feeling on that. Like even now, like little shivers, because you start to remember some of what he's had to go through, or the significant moments in that career. Do you know what I mean? He will always say to you, England, you know, when I scored on my debut for England.
Defining moment, for him.
That was a mad evening. Mad. Just
being there.
I was so nervous.
I
was broke up.
Like he was going to play.
Really, truthfully, if I could spend the time in the whole toilet, I would have done with everything, you know? I was broke up, and the first time, I knew he was playing well, but I couldn't sit easy, you know? My missus told me off, you know, you can feel your tension, he can fix up your face, you know that fix. The second half, I loosened up a little bit, try and sit up straight. And he'd done the run for Rooney's goal. He took the ball from midway through the first half, through his own half, right down to almost the 18-yard box, whipped in across, bam, 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 goal. Everything all right. England are winning as well. And then when he scored his goal, I can't even. I don't think you can actually describe the emotion.
Words to it,
You know, he celebrated right in front. He didn't know we were there, but he just celebrated in front of us. I saw a lot of release come out of him for the goal as well. You know, and you just think to yourself, this is what dreams are made of. You know, he scored on his Tottenham debut in the FA Cup again. It's funny, that one, because there was a guy sitting next to me, so the whole family are there. There's a guy, do you know any of the players out there? No, not me. Not me, sir. So no, because you seem to like the I said, he's a good little player. You know what I mean? And then obviously when he scored, get in there! And my man's going, he's looking at us as if like, so I said, no, I know his family. I know his family. Yeah. Good goal. Like, I just, you know what? Nothing prepares you for that next stage, which is being the parent of a footballer. Nothing says to you, you need to act like this. People are going to this, people are going to do that.
No blueprint.
There's no blueprint. And so the clubs just give you a ticket and go and sit up there. And then people look, don't they? Oh, not seen them before. You know. And then they try and work out, well, he must be the father of, or the mother of. And yes, when you continue going, they work out. And then, but nothing prepares you for that. So you go to England for the first time and you just sit down, and there's still people looking, thinking, I wonder if nothing prepares you. And then obviously the first game, the raw emotion of the first game is you're on edge, you're up, you're down, you're down. I think I nearly ended up tripping up and going down the stairs when I scored. But people then look at you differently, because anyone that can hide that emotion of a goal being scored by their son on their debut,
at Wembley.
You know, at Wembley, probably doesn't deserve to have that. And I'm not saying it's surreal. But nothing in this game prepares you for those moments, and then prepares you for the fallout afterwards, because he then becomes the focus of everybody's attention.
Of course.
And then they want to know his background. Then they want to know what school he went to. Then they want to know if he kicked ball for this and whatever. And they want to know his school friends, and they want to and nothing. The knock on the neck. We had a journalist outside our house for about an hour, snooping.
What?
And you think to yourself, I don't know. I don't know if he's a journalist or not, because man's just snooping. And I was out, and Mrs. is someone looking in the house. Does he want to buy it? I don't know what it was. And ultimately, it was a journalist that wanted a story. Wow. Background, this. And I'd always said to her, don't open the door. Don't, you know what I mean? Close the blinds, don't open the door. The kids are in the house as well. I'm not there, I'm at a game. So what she do? She opened the door. Man offered her £10,000 for the story.
Ooh.
So when she rang me, she said, I opened it, he's a journalist. I said, yeah. I said, what did he say? She said, he offered me £10,000. I said, what did you do? She said, you told me not to say nothing. I said, you know what? But you know what? And this is how funny it is, because the guy wrote a story anyway and put a quote from her that she didn't say.
She didn't even say.
That's in the paper the next day. And I said, I thought you said you didn't. I didn't. We might as well have took the £10,000. It was good. It was good. There's nothing negative.
Yeah.
But can you see how they will
Take anything and do what they want.
do what they want? You know, so
what?
England were playing again 5 days later. Why are we giving a story? They might have lost and then been out of the World Cup.
Yeah.
You know, so that's the things that can happen. But like I said, just to go back, you can't, that emotion, you can't.
It must be a problem.